Yeah. Waiting for the train. It's already delayed by whatever. It's 20 past 6 and it should have been leaving 10 to 6. They told us to come up here, but not here. This is another thing. I didn't see it.
No, they left out yesterday.
Well, I don't know. We have to check because there is a one day when we don't have a car.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first station stop is not going to be at Fullerton in approximately half an hour. Fullerton. In the meantime, please remember this train is a moving vehicle. It can go forwards, backwards.
Hi guys. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Tickets, please. There's lost and found, but yeah, I would call lost and found, although I understand they're understaffed.
This is the dining room. Doing video as well. Fullerton. Lunch is served.
Not lunch.
Dessert has been served. It's past Fullerton somewhere. This looks quite pretty. Kudunk, kudunk. Islanders food.
It's the colors properly.
Mm.
because it could be us moving.
I think it's a train.
Yes, but is it moving or standing still?
Hard to tell.
I know, it is hard to tell.
Victorville. Breakfast time. Cruising at 80 miles.
Not bad at all.
Hey, Connor, right here. Pretty cool. We don't have it.
Those are cows.
A couple, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Here we are in Albuquerque. Albuquerque.
Be careful of that train.
We just sat here for an hour and did not trade with the Indians.
Still in New Mexico.
New Mexico. It's Wednesday and they're moving at a super slow pace again, already 5 hours late. There's obviously not been a made an attempt to make it up, to make it down rather.
Can you move your...
Stop, do I speed to train this time? Train number 4 continue to make station stops only at La Plata, Missouri, from Madison, Iowa, Galesburg, Illinois, Princeton, Illinois.
That's cool. It must be a sort of a fountain. Hey? And the cars on the bottom and they're on the top.
Must be an alien establishment.
I doubt it.
We're not in Kansas anymore. Where are we, Claudia?
Illinois.
Illinois. Last stretch, almost home, almost in Chicago. Exploring the city. Hotel is just down there. No, Chicago.
Designed by Howells and Hood. Very top of that building, you see those bridges. Those are actually called flying buttresses. And those can be structural, but here they are strictly ornamental. The Tribune moved out of there about 4 or 5 years ago. The condominium owners have been moving in just recently. Going on to the first of 24 movable bridges we're going under today on our tour. Chicago has more drawbridges than any other city in the world. People are surprised by that, but we got a lot of water. And our bridges are all trunnion bascule bridges. Okay, domes in the front. As we go under the bridge, you'll see it again. There's 2 matching domes behind the 2 that you can see. Those used to have water in them back in 1926 when that building was completed. Never a bad idea to have water on hand, especially for a city that suffered a big fire, right? We'll talk more about the Chicago fire later, but that was a pretty good idea back in those days. Others were a little concerned that all these tall buildings were going to block out the sun, and you weren't going to have any, you'd just have a city of shadows. So the new law said, sure, go as high as you want, but only on 1/4 of the property. The other sections of the building have to be lower down to allow the rays of the sun to get down to the sidewalks, so we have some sunshine in our city. So you will notice a lot of the armchair or throne look in the 1920s, 1930s buildings in Chicago. But the one on your left is an older building from 1983, if you want to consider that old. Lots of context in this building. Curved building, like the curve in the river. Green color, like the green in the river. This was designed by Cummins Fox, and it may look familiar to you if you're a big fan of Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller's dad had his office in that building, so now you got to go rewatch the movie and see if you can spot. To the right, look at this building almost straight ahead of us with the hyperbolic hut at the top and the bottom. I actually think the bottom looks more like the St. Louis Arch, but that's just me. It's designed by Picard Shelton. It is an office building called River Point. It has an amazing view if you kind of look behind you. Goodness, we can build over them. Straight ahead, a little bit to your left, that pink brick building with the circular windows is the oldest building you're going to see today. It was completed in 1898. It was designed by Frank Abbott for the North American Cold Storage Warehouse Company. What do you think he had to do to it? What do you do to your freezer before you do anything? You defrost it, exactly. I'm guessing this is bigger than your freezer? Matted horsehair and pork. I'm sure that smelled lovely when I pulled it out, right? Harry Weiss put a marina on the bottom of that building. Pretty crazy in the early 1980s, but then he when they adaptively reused this building. Okay, as we're turning, you're going to see an island here on your right. You can see those buses sitting on it. That's Goose Island. It's always been there. It's always been industrial. When I was a kid, though, never heard a bit about Goose Island. You started hearing it, it's been about 30 years ago now, maybe a little more, because you saw those words on bottles and cans and on taps. Big story in the New York Times. You can see the headline today. Look back at it. January of 1900. Water in the Chicago River now resembles liquid. It was really big news. St. Louis did take us to court, but they found out that they were dumping their pretty new building, 2017 or so. I'll talk about that later. As we go under the bridge, I'm going to talk about the building on the left. That does not look that impressive to you, but that's because we're here in 2022. When it was completed in 1910, it's designed by Halliburton Roche, that was a skyscraper. That was a big deal. That was more than 6 stories high. You needed an elevator to get all the way to the top. They had invented a steel frame. That's why there's brick in kind of a grid pattern, because everywhere you see brick, there's steel frame behind it. That's all office. This is a residential development called South Bank. It's kind of just getting started. One building's done. This building here on your left, where the little elevator's going up, that is the second one. That's the Reed. You've got some limestone, a little limestone amphitheater there that was constructed out of Limestone they found on the property that was probably left there from the old Grand Central Station that was demolished there many, many years ago. Next to a building who's got every single window the same size and shape, you might have done something kind of crazy with your windows. And then to make sure that people noticed your modest little building, maybe you put 1,800 fluorescent light bulbs at the top of the building. That makes that building so bright at night. Look for it tonight. You will see it. That makes it so bright they have to turn. We built railroad tracks. It also works over there at Millennium Park if you've been over there. Now there's one place that you can see from here, straight ahead to the right of the go-go clock there on your left. Just look a little to your right and you see that short part of the Boeing building that has open truss work on the top, those white lot. When this building was being constructed, it was finished about 2017 or so. And every time I walked by and saw it under construction, I thought, there is no way that building is not going to topple over, right? I mean, skinny. It is built on less than 40 feet wide of a strip of land. The other side has railroad, this side has water, obviously. And they never built anything there because you can't. And then they could. So the design of this building took into account that little skinny thing was not going to be all that stable. And you can't see it, but at the very top of the building, they put kind of a large bathtub. And it has hundreds of thousands of gallons of water in it. So when the wind tries to push the building one way, the water sloshes the other way and steadies the building. That one a little closer. But on our left, we have that curvy building right behind that crane where you see the cars. That is the other Bertrand Goldberg project, the more famous one, Marina Towers. There's two of them, you'll see. And it's part of Marina City. That project started in the 1950s because Bertrand Goldberg was a social visionary. If you're like me and you use a Mac, should look familiar. That is a Mac laptop. That's what that roof is. It is made out of carbon fiber. It's about 3 feet tall. And the poles, the posts in that building are actually drains to drain the water off the top. Great place to sit and people watch on days, you know, it's usually like this in Chicago, just perfect weather. But on the weird days that we don't have perfect weather, that is a great place to sit. Somehow or another, a compromise was reached. And that's it that you're looking at there where the flags are. That is the harbor locks. It was designed and installed by the Army Corps of Engineers in 1938. And that keeps the two bodies of water. This is Navy Pier in front of you, but it was Municipal Pier when it was constructed in 1916, designed by Charles Frost. That's on it. The wavy shape was inspired by popcorn boxes. Think about the old-fashioned popcorn box. You got one right side up, you got one inverted upside down on top of it. Then one right side up, then one upside down. That's basically where she got the idea. If you look at the little thing they call the ice box in the front, the little white part, the lines kind of give you a little bit of a better idea on how that came to be. Way at the top of the tallest portion, the tallest skyscraper of the three, I guess you'd call it. And by the way, this is the third tallest building now in Chicago. About 10 floors down from the top, it kind of looks like they forgot to finish that floor. That is actually finished. It's called a blow-through floor, and that is another technique that architects use to minimize sway in a building. It's a more common way, but we don't have any of those here in Chicago, so this is the only blow-through floor that we have. And the idea is the residences above it, the ones that are the highest in Chicago on the 92nd and 93rd floors way up there, when they sit down to eat after paying all that money, up in the 8 and 9 million range, a bit nauseous, right? So they put in that.
We won't say it, but what a beautiful view. Varden's place. Here we are at the Navy Pier.
Helicopter tours. Wow. Cool. Over there behind you.
Yes, I saw. Luckily this.
Children's Museum.
Cheese.
Wow, how cool. Look at the river back there.
There must be the Naval Museum there.
Where's the Navy Museum? Photo. It says here photo. Oh, we're at the very top now?
We're going down now.
Okay, mine says
Finding our way to the other side of the world, to the river. Faster, faster.
I like it.
Having a beer. Our last day in the trekking out. Oh, they're playing Claudius music on now. See, they're playing your music. Music in the distance that kept us up all night.